What is up, makers? My name is Mikey, and this is my hotel room. Anyway, as promised, now we have the video of the interview with Adam Savage. We are having an absolute blast here at Fan Expo, limited edition in Canada, in Toronto. It's been a blast. But no more delays. Here's the interview with Adam Savage, and we'll be back after.
Glasses?
Oh, yeah, he actually custom 3D printed them for me.
Oh, they're wonderful.
And then we put sunglass pieces on the inside.
I gotcha. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I always want to think of the microphone as like the lighter at the party that I left with accidentally, but no one ever lets me do it.
The sound guy knows where you're going.
No, he really knows. I just like trying to wrap up his cables in front of him, because sound guys love that.
Or drop the mic.
You were there first. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, basically my number one question for you, I've asked you a couple of questions over the Patreon before, but as I look around here, all I see is makeup.
Yeah.
Right? It's now infiltrated every aspect of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you started making, that was definitely not the case. Right? And you've been one of the, I think, driving forces to bring it there. Like even cosplayers now with 3D printers, with everything that's going on, it's all making. I'm wondering where you think this is going to go and how far this will go.
Oh, wow, I haven't even considered how far it's going to go. I mean, the thing that there's so many parts to this question. I mean, one is that I feel really lucky that Mythbusters became ascendant at the exact same movement that the Maker movement does, and then also what was called rapid prototyping, now rapid manufacturing. All of those happened sort of commensurately, and we fed each other, which was amazing. And then this becomes a gateway deeper than any Maker Faire, especially in terms of like eliminating gatekeeping. So that's actually where I hope it goes, because when you look around here and you see, how do I say it? Somebody asked me once, oh, when you see someone in costume, how often do you think it's their kink? And I said, that's a funny question, but you're misunderstanding the whole culture here. It's not about look at me. It's like, look at what we can do. And it's very different. And so the degree to which the maker community does not tolerate a lot of gatekeeping is so gratifying to me. And in my book I say I want to be a one-person permission machine, but I also want to take down gatekeeping wherever I can find it, because it's a pointless exercise. I don't know. Look, I just feel where it goes with a place like this is more tolerance. I don't think you'll find a lot of intolerance in this room. And I think that, when we put on these costumes and we embed ourselves into narratives that mean something to us, and we can see each other doing that, and we can exult together, you learn a lot about people. And I think, the one thing the world needs right now is people listening to each other and really trying to understand each other's experiences better.
When you first started, you were acting.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Was there a moment or something that happened that made you want to switch to doing hands-on stuff? Or was it just the hands-on stuff was much more interesting?
No. It was actually, you're thinking that there was a plan, and I was 16 to 19 years old. I was highly clever. I was lazy. I thought cleverness would be enough to move through the world. I had no idea how many clever people there are that have never done anything. And I thought that things would be easy. And, there was a point at which I realized that going to these auditions was not creatively satisfying. And frankly, I wasn't doing a lot of the grunt work to becoming a better actor. So why was I doing this? And I was doing work for hire that was using my hands, and that was far more satisfying. So I just drifted towards that. But it was mostly that, at 18, 19, I had no ambition. And that's also one of the reasons I moved from New York to San Francisco, because New York is a terrible city if you don't know your ambition. It will eat you alive. San Francisco is the ultimate city to live if you have no ambition, because you can go find your ambition, which means that a lot of the art you go out and see is crap. You go to a lot of bad performance shows, but those are people doing things that are trying it out. And I did a lot of bad performances and bad art shows in San Francisco, but doing that helped me figure out, oh, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've worked on a lot of sci-fi movies. I want to know which one was your favorite to work on. Like, which one is the most memorable?
So what's the thing about working on movies is you're almost always working on a movie you will eventually hate. Because most movies are bad. Like, the odds are just against you working on great movies. My favorite movie I worked on is Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
But I was only on that for 2 weeks. But it was awesome.
Was that the dangly ship on the string?
Yeah, I worked on it actually as they're pulling out of the Thermian Bay.
Okay.
They made a ton of distant windows, but they made one hero big one, and I built the hero big one. But my favorite show to work on was AI.
Okay.
So in AI, when they go to New York, and it's New York 60 years from now, and the water levels are at the 20th floor, and all the buildings are rotting and falling apart, me and my team spent 6 months breaking all those buildings. We had reference material from the Kobe earthquake. We were like going to building sites and looking how they constructed stuff, and it was really, really creatively satisfying. But also, I had been following the progress on this secret Stanley Kubrick film since like 1994. So to eventually be working on it in 2000 blew my mind. And I just saw it recently, and it actually is way better than I remembered it being. Like, I really, really liked it upon the most recent watch.
Excellent. Thank you.
I will tell you a follow-up is this. When I gave my TED Talk on cosplay, about 2 hours later, Steven Spielberg came over and said, I really liked your talk, which I was gratified because I talked about what a piece of crap the Jaws Halloween costume was in 1977. But he also said, I'm surprised you haven't used your narrative skills in the film industry. And I said, Steven, I built all of your broken buildings in New York in AI. And he was like, oh my God, you were working with Stanley's drawings. And I was like, I know. And we spent a couple of minutes yelling at each other.
Do you ever look back at some of your work and kind of think, like, I would have done something differently, like, after the fact?
Always. Always. But, well, it's usually not like I would. If there's something I should go back and fix, I will. But more frequently, it's like I finish it. Like, I finished the Hellboy Samaritan this last summer, and it took me like probably about 130 hours of work, all over 5 weeks. The moment I finished it, I was like, oh shit. Now I want one in steel. I didn't know I needed the steel until I had made it out of aluminum, and only then did I get it. That's usually what happens. And I'll eventually make it in steel. It's just going to take a lot longer.
Kind of along the lines of that question, you've talked in the past about working with a friend where you agreed to do way too much that you could do, and you were building the entire sets for them, and you ended up letting them down, and it being one of the biggest regrets that you've had. That resonates with me, and that resonates with a lot of people that I know. Do you think that that's kind of a landmark that you have to get past as a creative person?
Yeah.
Something you have to go through, a right you have to pay?
Yeah. We've all met people who don't think that they've failed. And they're not easy to work with. The people that I like to work with have that 1,000-yard stare. They know what it means to have, like, really boned people you care about because you were ignorant about your skills or what it was ahead of you. That tempers your soul. It humiliates us and humbles us in a way that's, I think, really important. And surviving that is really important. You know, that's still a hard story for me to tell all the way through. And it should be. Like, I learned a lot since then.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a stepson and I have a younger daughter. We've all watched along the way, watched Mythbusters, and both of them got into creative stuff watching your show. Do you ever look back and think about how much that show has influenced people? Because just looking at my family alone, they build their own cosplay outfits and they love watching that kind of stuff.
One of my favorite things I've done since the beginning of my career is I have no pretense to any expertise. And to me, that is the ultimate not gatekeeping, right? Like, I don't want to teach anything because I don't think I'm a teacher. But My joke when people tell me that is that one day I will call upon my army. Hey, you know, someone asked me at the line if does it get tiring, and in the beginning of my career when I was doing meet and greets, it certainly was tiring. You feel the person across from you wants something out of the interaction, and when someone is pulling, our natural impulse is to resist a little bit, to protect ourselves. And there was a point during one of those 100-person meet and greets every night. The moment I realized that the trick was to lean in, not out, they took longer and felt shorter, instantly. They went from 40 minutes to 90 minutes, but they felt like 10. And that's the reality, is like I get to sit across from people and I hear those stories of like, me and my brother burned down the garage. We strapped a costume to the cat. All of that is just, we're all going through the same stuff. It's just great to share it. What's that?
They feel better for us too. Like when I met you, it was with my wife, and she's met several people she considers to be a celebrity. But she said you were the easiest to talk to, and that the experience was so much easier with you. And this was after that, so I figured.
A friend of mine who was becoming famous, and their parent was actually famous. The parent said to them, "Sweetie, what you've been given is a magic wand to make someone's day just by being sweet." And it's like, it's really true. There's no cost to it, and there's every benefit. So every day I do the con, I often go right back to the hotel room, but I don't get to sleep until 1 or 2 in the morning because I'm just so wired.
Okay, we got one question left that I've just been told. So I have 3 daughters. My youngest one, 13, is a STEM kid. She's just naturally a STEM kid, but she doesn't want to go that route, and I feel like it's the way the school system is directing her here in Canada specifically.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody like that to get them out of that misdirection?
Well, I mean, so I am not a woman, nor have I ever been, but I also know that her experience in science is radically different than ours. And that there are going to be microaggressions that she is encountering that she might not even be experiencing as microaggressions, but just at the end of a week of dealing with them, somehow she doesn't give a crap about science anymore. That's really real. It is really, really, like, women have such a much more difficult path moving through the sciences and the engineering than men do. And that is really, like, vital to be able to talk about. So I don't know that I have an answer, just that recognizing that she might be experiencing that and not even being able to put a name to it, but that it's informing the direction she feels like going in. Simply because, like, we can't conceive of how shitty it is. We really can't conceive of what it's like to have someone just randomly come in and tell you that you're an ignorant idiot all the time simply because you're a woman. But that is genuinely their experience within the science and engineering.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm sorry for such a dark answer.
You're not wrong though.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy here did this one to give you. It's a
Oh.
photo that he took of the skyline and then he painted it to look like this. So it's just a tribute for coming in.
Thank you.
So it's our little thank you for your time.
Oh, that's beautiful. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Have a good one.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks so much, Adam.
I'll see you later.
See you next time.
Alright, so as always, any conversation that I have with Adam Savage is always a good one. It's always welcome, and I will never turn down the opportunity to talk to that man. His points of view and his way of breaking things down, it's just, there's something magical about the way that he speaks and the way that he sees the world. If you get the chance to talk to him, please do. It's been an absolute awesome experience. If you're looking for more content for Fan Expo, check out our sister channel at Combo Collectibles. We'll be posting a lot more there. In the meantime, thank you for joining me in my hotel room, and we will speak again soon.